Rachelsey at the movies, yay!
We are here today. This is not our traditional Rachelsey at the movies with a go, wait, skip. Instead, we're here to share our thoughts.
On the Karate Kid universe.
Kind of. On most Karate Kid movies and Cobra Kai, which is a spin-off series from Karate Kid. First, let's talk about Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai is an amazing work of art. I knew when it came out, it first started on YouTube as a show. I didn't have YouTube, so I didn't get to watch it. But I know that people in my general community on Twitter,
and it was like YouTube Red or something.
Combat sports community.
Yeah.
They loved it. And I was like, really? Can it be that good?
Well, a lot of people love a lot of things.
Yeah, and I usually, and then I watch it, I'm like, this is dumb. However, it's finally on Netflix, and it's 2 seasons on Netflix. 3rd season will come out on Netflix. It was number 1 on Netflix last time I looked. It's an amazing show. What a great idea. And I tell you what, the biggest thing is that whoever made this show loved Karate Kid, the universe, the movies, and they took that love for what they love. They took that nostalgia, because nostalgia plays well, and they used they melded the newer ways we think about things with some of the older ways, the best of both, and put it into one great package. I love it.
Nostalgia with love. I think that's a good description there, because you can also have nostalgia mixed with greed. And there's plenty of people
the Jurassic Park movies
that put out content that's nostalgia mixed with greed, and that's not a good combo. This was good. The way I initially described it was like, this series, Cobra Kai, it's really bad, yet it's so good.
It's not bad, it's cheesy, and it's...
Well, you can tell that when it first starts, it does not have a big budget.
But it's not bad, it's excellent.
Some of the acting and dialogue is maybe just a little cheesy. That's a good word. Cheesy. It's a little
cheesy is what
cheesy. It is. But here's what they do great is it seems kind of real. There's a genuineness. There's an authenticity to it that's just
it's a great piece of art.
It's heart. It has heart. The lead for this series, the primary lead, is Johnny Lawrence, who is,
that's
you want to say the
name. He was the
head
bad guy
who fought,
who fought Daniel LaRusso in the finals of the original Karate Kid movies. The one that was supposed to put Daniel in a body bag. Yeah.
Now you see Johnny Lawrence as an adult man, a very much our age, right?
Yeah.
Adult man.
He's not grown a lot.
Where is he now? That kind of...
Yeah.
You get to see... But
you also get to see Karate Kid guy, though.
Right, you get to see Ralph Macchio, also very much our middle-aged man, right?
Man,
and I told you, they could have had Johnny Lawrence in this really simple character arc, where it just very quickly but instead it seems much more like real life. How somebody might grow and learn in real life, which is by baby steps. And sometimes they get kind of...
2 forward, 3 back.
Yes, they go backwards. They rely on old behaviors when a new hard thing comes up. It's really good the way it shows that.
It also subverted the good
too.
Versus bad. Daniel isn't the good guy in this, and Johnny isn't the bad guy. They're both good and bad, and that's real life, right?
Yeah, even though it shows that maybe society culture might have made Johnny the bad guy and Danny the good guy, but you get to see as the characters unfold and behaviors, all this stuff, the way how they react in situations. Well, they both got some plus and minuses.
Yeah, it's amazing. And that's really true in real life. It's a new way to think for a lot of people, and it was for me. And I'm really appreciative when they can bring that into art to just have it in art. I love it.
And then they have kids, right? There's a younger generation coming up in this. The whole thing was cast really well.
Yeah, but the new generation, I don't think takes away any from the old. So for example, when you watch the new Star Wars trilogy, people were excited about it, but really they just pushed the characters aside. They pushed Luke. Everybody wanted Luke and Leia and Han Solo.
Okay.
And it seemed like they pushed those to the side. They even said because they didn't want them to overshadow the new ones. Mm-hmm. Well, here's a case where they did not push the primary old characters.
Nicely
they melded them perfectly together so that these guys Johnny Lawrence and you could argue the Karate Kid are still the main characters, but there's also other characters around them that are vastly important to the story, and you do genuinely care about these characters.
Yeah.
That's something I wish they did in Star Wars. They didn't do.
So I'm excited to see season 3, which will come out next summer on Netflix.
Let's get to what this spurred in us, Rachel.
It was like, well, we need to watch all the Karate Kids now.
Now, did you know that there are 4 Karate Kid movies?
Not counting that there is some other remake of the Karate Kid out there.
Which we don't count in this, but I'm saying with the
we didn't watch.
Yeah, so we watched Karate Kid 2, Karate Kid 3, and the next Karate Kid starring Hilary Swank.
Yes. So the original, the Karate Kid, still a good movie.
Just a great movie. It reminds me, it's an older style movie, so remember when it started and they're like driving?
Yeah, like him and his mom drive from
it's an older method of storytelling.
East to west, and you're like, why are we watching their drive?
It definitely reminds me of the early 80s style of filmmaking, and it reminds me of the way that E.T. was made and stuff like that. It still holds up. It's still a great movie.
Still holds up.
Man, I loved it.
I didn't know as a kid how great Ralph Macchio played the character of Danny LaRusso.
He did, and so did, it's excellent.
It was different than what I thought. Because in the series, if you were going to look at the counterpart to that, it would be Miguel. But they're not the same character.
No.
Danny LaRusso's, he's not a nerd.
No, he's just different. He's from New Jersey.
Yeah.
He's kind of cocky and kind of rushes into things.
Yeah.
And he does that throughout his life. According to this universe.
And the love interest in that movie was played by Elizabeth Shue.
So yeah, I really enjoyed it. So then we're like, it's time to go to Karate Kid 2. And immediately when we did it, I started singing that song to Rachel. I am the man who will fight for your honor. Because that is my big remembrance. That and those little drums.
Yeah,
I watched this as a kid.
So I had a really strong connection about the drum thing. I had a drum thing as a kid. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's a drum thing, if that's the official label of this item. But when we watched the Karate Kid 2, I had no idea that the entire movie would take place in a small village outside Okinawa, Japan.
I did. I remembered it. I loved Karate Kid 2 when it came out, and I still loved it when
I didn't remember the bad guy. I didn't remember the love interest.
It's not as good as Karate Kid 1.
It made me wonder. I was like, did I see this movie, or did I just see a trailer with the drum thing? So I'm not sure. It's definitely watchable.
Well, the thing that it's an interesting story. The Daniel LaRusso character and Mr. Miyagi's character, people love those today. Yeah. They still love them today. And rewatching them, all the movies that they have,
and they were both still good.
Still great characters
and
that you love and that you'll go with, even if it's maybe not as good as the first one.
Now let's talk about the Karate Kid 3.
Now this movie was terrible, and yet I say that knowing full well that the whole time I still like Daniel LaRusso and I still really like Mr. Miyagi, and I was all about going along for this journey. It was just not a very good movie.
Not a very good movie.
It was outlandish. The bad guy, the bad boy of karate was ridiculous.
That was the huge part of this movie.
The real bad guy was the...
Let's back up though.
Okay.
The bad guy.
Who
was something silver,
He's so bad.
Dusty Silver. I don't remember what his name is.
Terry Silver.
Terry Silver. He was so over the top in his evil bad guy.
Also, his evil bad guy plan, I still don't understand it.
It kind of didn't make sense.
His evil bad guy plan was to make Daniel LaRusso where he could break these big boards with his arms and stuff. And then he did achieve that. And then he was like, now he won't be able to fight. And I was like, what? This doesn't make any sense.
His evil plan was a lot of making Danny LaRusso fight in the All Valley Championship and laughing evilly.
Yeah, and not just, yeah.
And then as part of this, they brought back Kreese, who was a Cobra Kai sensei, but they changed his personality. So he also became evil laughter, which he wasn't like that in the first Karate Kid. So it was bad and not in a ironic, artful kind of way. So when we watched Ip Man 4, that also played around with that kind of caricature of a character, but in a way that worked. This didn't work.
And yet, it was so over the top and so ridiculous that it's sort of interesting to see.
I don't
I thought it was cause I'm this guy is his plan is so dumb, and like he's so like. Remember when his big plan was to tell him? He told Daniel and Mr. Miyagi that John Kreese had died, and they were like, "Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that." And he was like, like what is that?
Well, he had to come up with an emotional thing to draw
I know, but
them
it didn't like devastate
trust
them or
him.
whatever. But still, it's like, I don't know.
Well, he just needed the trust like part.
It's dumb.
The movie's dumb. I would not recommend it to anybody. So.
No, you have to. If you've watched the first two, you have to watch the third one, especially because they reference the third one in Cobra Kai.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He talks to her about the difficulty he went through when he tried to like go with when he joined Cobra Kai, and then it showed clips of him hitting those boards.
Oh. Well, I still don't.
Which I love. Way to go, Cobra Kai. Include all of them.
I hadn't seen 3, and I was perfectly fine watching the series having not seen it. So.
And yet now you have. And then, of course, the final Karate Kid was the next Karate Kid, which came out in 1994. Starred Hilary Swank and did not have Ralph Macchio. She replaced him as a different character. She was the next Karate Kid.
Mr. Miyagi comes out to where she lives. Trains her? Whatever.
I mean he finds that she's
a hurt, angry kid, and then...
The plot is weird. The plot is weird and bad.
Well, she's getting bullied by boys at school.
Yeah, it's weird.
And it's kind of like a weird thing. I don't know.
These are like, they're students, but they also work there. I don't...
Like they're like a law enforcement like force. Like they have the right to use like physical force against like their fellow peers. But they're all boys and... Anyway, it's a weird...
It's also not
I was like, how would that ever
It is better
happen?
than Karate Kid Part 3, probably.
I think it's better than 3.
It's probably slightly better.
But only slightly. But it's still like there were things that didn't make sense. Like how like Mr. Miyagi just stays there with her while her grandmother like goes out to California. Or how he was like, all right, you got suspended. Now we're going to go spend 2 weeks at this monastery. Like, these things just didn't seem reasonable.
I also thought it was odd that in the fourth movie, in the first 3 movies, they went to extraordinary lengths to remind you what happened in the previous movies.
Yeah, this one was
so much so where you're
Danny never existed.
Like, this is a little much. Maybe because back then, people maybe didn't have... You see what I'm saying? Like, you saw it in the movie 2 years ago, you don't remember it.
Yeah.
But this one, they just completely ignored that Daniel LaRusso existed, which I thought was strange, considering the choices made in the first 3 movies.
Right. That's correct.
I mean, they didn't... Anyway. But I thought that Mr. Miyagi was interesting in it, and then, I mean, it had some, like... Hilary Swank was good in it, because she's a great actress. Even with this terrible role, she could play, you know...
it was weird. So, Cobra Kai the series? Definitely, we love it. Original Karate Kid? We love it. The Karate Kid 2?
Karate Kid 2.
We like...
Third
3
one.
and 4, I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah, they're not good, but I'm saying you have to watch them. Because
I
why would you... It's like, would you not watch Star Wars Episode 1 or 2? No, you would watch them because you are a completionist. Although I think that these movies are definitely worse than those movies. I don't want to equate them with that.
I say you only watch these if you're really into the whole Karate Kid thing.
Which you should be.
Okay.
Not everybody is. Don't you want to be a karate man or a karate woman?
You can watch Cobra Kai without watching any of the Karate Kids. Is that what I think? Actually, I think you have to watch the original.
You gotta watch one. I mean, it shows you
have to know, like, the idea of what's happening
I think
here.
It's better if you watch them. At least watch one.
Here's one big thing, though. The Cobra Kai, the series, seems to be geared at adults. Who were children when the original Karate Kid, but now they're adults, and so they can, like, handle, like, process lots of mature language. The Karate Kid movies were for kids, it seemed.
Yeah. I don't know why this fascinates you so much.
Well, because in my head, like if I was a parent, I'd be like, oh, there's this series that's based on this movie I liked as a kid. Whoa, guys, don't just start playing it for your little kids.
All right, well, thanks for watching our show. I'm Kelsey, that's Rachel, and this was whatever our show's called.
Rachelsey at the Movies.
Yeah.